For 2017, the organizers of the British Motocross Championship announced a new class. It was the one the fans have been waiting for. An open two-stroke class. Immediately fully subscribed, this 4-round championship kicked off at the historic Canada Heights circuit. One veteran racer who couldn't resist the temptation was South African man of steel, Neville Bradshaw. The British-based racer who was brought up on two-stroke machinery is taking on the 40-strong field on his 15-year-old Honda CR250. Why? For the love of two strokes.
I'm Neville Bradshaw. I'm 33 years old. I'm from Benoni in South Africa. I started racing when I was 6 years old in 1989 on a JR50. And then, just the basic schoolboy deal. Raced through 50s, 60s, 80s. Started off not so good, but quite quickly became like a top 3 guy out in South Africa. There's quite a big scene out there for the kids and stuff, so it was cool to like learn your trade out there. And then, just gradually went through the ranks. Finished third in the South African 80cc Championship, the Pro Mini Championship. There's some really good riders out there at the time, like Gareth Swanepoel, Tyler Rattray, Grant Langston, Wyatt Davis. It was quite a big field of talented guys, so raced through there and then went on to the bigger bikes. Won the 125 high school championship, which is kind of like the schoolboy championship out here. And then went to the pro class, and the first season was quite tough, obviously being a kid racing against all the adults that have raced in Europe before and had moved back to South Africa and stuff. So the first year was more of a learning year, and then the next year did really well in that. Was top 3 in the championship, racing 125 two-strokes and 250 two-strokes. So that was quite cool. And then Ryan Hunt had moved back from England, and he was like the guy that was doing all the winning out there. And he went like 2 seasons unbeaten, and I managed to beat him for the first time. Must have been 2002. And then I realized, I've reached the top in that country, and a lot of the guys I was racing against, they moved away to Europe already, and it was always a massive dream of mine to go and race in Europe. So my chance came in 2003 and ended up coming over to England. Things just progressed from there, obviously the first 6 months was really tough, getting used to the riding here, the different tracks, the different people, the way the whole scene worked and stuff, but I found my feet pretty quick and was winning under 21 races in my first year. I won MX1 in 2005, and that was pretty good, but I wasn't experienced enough, like I could get 5th and 6th every weekend, but those top GP guys that were all top 10 in the GPs, I didn't have the racecraft to race with those guys, like 5th and 6th was the best I was getting every weekend. I could never kind of crack it. So had a couple of seasons where I just ran around 5-6 in the MX1 class. Made big changes at the end of 07, went back on the 250F, and then things were awesome from then. I think I'm a really good little bike rider, and managed to win, I think, 2 British Masters Championships, 3 Red Bull Pro Nationals titles, finished top 3 in the British Championship 2 or 3 times, and won a British Supercross Championship as well, so the following 6 or 7 years was really good, and I'm finished now with it, so just enjoying my life, training kids, flat out to that, really enjoying that, and just riding these two-strokes is a bit of fun on the side just because I still love motocross. That was tough, at the end of 2014, I was on a really, probably one of the best teams in the British Championship paddock for a long time with DB Racing Honda, and when they finished, I was kind of like, I should have finished them, but I still wanted to race, and I couldn't really see myself going anywhere else with another team, so I tried to do it on my own, which I underestimated quite a lot, but I learned, I didn't gel with the bike I went on, and then I went and bought a bike, and another bike that I did gel on, and I just bought a standard bike, and I was doing pretty good. I think I was in 6th place, and then the bike blew up, and then that was kind of that, it was the kind of thing where everything needed to run smoothly financially to be able to do it, and then I just had a few things go the wrong way, and then I ended up going back to South Africa and racing out there, and that was really cool. I was winning out there. I still wanted to race, it wasn't like I was done racing, it wasn't like I wasn't competitive, it was just I couldn't really do it on my own, just financially. I just had time, I was doing the training schools to try and make the money, couldn't do my motos, and then trying to fix bikes at the same time, I was had a job training people, had a job being a mechanic, and then trying to ride on top of that, so it kind of sucked. I was really bummed because if I ended my career in 2014, I would have ended it on a good note, at a good level, but it's just the way it happened. 16, I went obviously I was doing well in South Africa, so I had a good deal out there to race out there, but I also wanted to race in England, so I ended up doing the deal with Neil, race in England, and the deal racing in South Africa, which I had to do to make my money meet, you know, like I was getting paid to race there, I was getting paid a little bit to race here. And it started off good, like I won the first couple of South African nationals, but then just the traveling got to me, you know, like just too much traveling. I was flying twice a month to South Africa and then coming back here to race, and just I got sick, you know, like just couldn't do it anymore. Just got to where my body was done, and you know, I had a few bad races where I couldn't even hold on, you know. I was riding as hard as I could, and the second lap into the moto, like that was it, you know, finishing 10th, 11th, and it just sucked, you know. Finally found out what the problem was, then that was the end of it, you know. Like once I had that artery problem and I had that operation, then like for sure I can't ride at that level anymore, you know. So that actually made it pretty cool for me. Right, your time is done, just find something else to do, you know. Like I still enjoy riding, you know, like I can still ride pretty good, and I enjoy going out with the boys, and that kind of called it, you know. Like with the operation, I can't go to 100%, and to be top 5 in the British Championships you have to be at least able to go 100%. So that made that decision quite easily for me. Once that surgery had come on, I'm not really worried, you know. Like I had the career I had, people know the stuff I've done. Now it's just for fun, you know. Like I don't care if I come 10th, I don't care if I win. It's just flat out for fun, so it's quite cool. Motocross is a very special thing, you know. It's a very hard sport, and from when I was a kid, it's just something I've just been mad about, you know. It's all I thought about when I was a kid, and I just really enjoy riding a motorbike, you know. Like no matter what's going on in your life, you know, what stresses are going on, the one thing that's always been there for 30 years of my life is my motorbike, you know. You can always go to that, get away from the real world for a while, get that buzz, get that feeling, you know, ride hard, get that feeling of accomplishment when you achieve something. Even now, you know, like you go to the practice track, and if I can run with some of the top boys for a couple of laps, you still get a buzz from that, knowing that you can still do it. So just that you can't get that buzz anywhere else, and I still get like a massive buzz for it. I still got a good feeling on a motorbike. I think when the feeling goes and you kind of not really riding good and things don't come easily, then maybe I'll stop doing a little bit, but as long as I can have a good feeling and go at a good pace, you know, I'll ride for as long as I can. Yeah, no, it's weird, you know, like obviously like guys my age, we learned our trade on two-strokes, you know, like growing up in South Africa, raced 80cc's. You kind of learn to get the best out of a bike, I think, when you ride a two-stroke. So for me, it's very natural to go back to it, you know, like I feel right at home on it. It's actually quite funny. In 2002, I rode for Honda, South Africa, and I was the 125 rider, but there was a Premier class in South Africa which was open, and I rode 252 stroke. So this is a 2002. And that was a 2002, and I can remember riding it and thinking, this thing is an animal, like short shifting everywhere, like wow, this is a beast. And then what's it, like 15 years later, you jump back on one and you can go like a lap without chopping the gas, you know. It's just crazy how motocross has evolved just through the years, you know, like the advancement of bikes and stuff. And then when you get back on something that's a little bit older, that used to be like unreal, it's yeah, it's just a joy to ride, you know, because you can override it, you know, it's quite safe, and you can get the best out of a bike. There's a good feeling that when you ride a bike to its 100% and you're finding grip everywhere, it just gives you a good feeling of satisfaction, you know. Basically, the idea behind it was, when I go to a club race, if I go on a 450 and I get a whole shot, you know, not being big-headed, but you're going to have like quite an easy race to win it, you know. Whereas thinking, if I get a 252 stroke, coming through the pack and battling with guys, it's going to be quite a fun race, you know. So that's originally why I got it, and then they said about this series, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll have a go at that. And then I was thinking maybe I'll get like a Husky or KTM, obviously, because they're so much more advanced. And I was like, nah, like I just want to enjoy my riding now, you know. So stuck with the Honda, got a good feeling on it. You know, it's something, you know, if it's going good, I'm enjoying it, you carry on doing it. And if you're blowing bikes up every weekend, you can just step away from it, you know. There's no stress. I don't have any big sponsors helping me out. You know, like I've got no ties to anyone, which is quite cool, which is the way I want it. So yeah, it's just about good times, dude. And I think the racing two strokes is pretty rad, you know. Basically, it's a 4-round championship which supports the British Championship Series. 4 good tracks, so we race Canada Heights, then we go to Hawkstone Park, Blackshaw Pits, and then Fox Hills. So it's all really cool tracks, you know. There's nothing too strenuous. Get a qualifying session, half an hour, and 2 20-minute motors, I think it is. Yeah, for sure, man. This is my favorite track. I come and race here when they got club races. I've won British Championship races around here, won Red Bull races around here. It's just like the soil, you know, like, just I love it, you know. You can push so hard. Used to be some cool jumps around the track and stuff, and then when I saw that this was the first round, I was like, oh, for sure, I've got to have a crack at that then, you know. You know, the people that come and watch from around this area, it's like some hardcore fans of the sport, you know. They've been around since I was racing here. My first race here was 2003, and I still see the same people, yeah, come and say hello. It's just awesome, you know, and the crowd really gets into it. It's always got a big turnout. It's quite crazy if you think of it like that, to be racing these boys in a 50-year-old bike. But the main reason is, you know, Honda. I've loved Hondas and wanted to get back on a Honda. Hopefully being a Honda, it stays together. You know, the Hondas are known for staying together and stuff. And man, if you could podium on it, it'd be pretty special, I think, you know, to race against those boys on such an old bike. Literally, I got the bike, I got Mark from RSS to do the suspension, and it's a completely standard bike with a depth pipe on other than that, you know, so it'll go a long way for the bike if it can do well. For sure I'm going to send it, you know, but there's no stress on it, you know, like it is what it is at the end of the day. I think anyone on a KTM or Husky that's a decent rider is going to be up there, so obviously Mark Crash will be the guy to beat, you know, like he's still racing full time, I think. He's fast in the European Championships, he's on a good bike, he's got a good team behind him, so he'll be the main guy. Then Trickett's always going to be good. Trickett is a good rider, he's on a Honda as well, so hopefully we can do some battling. And then there's a lot of guys that you don't really know about that can ride two-strokes good, you know, like I think there's a lot of people that can't afford to do British Championship racing in MX1 and MX2, but they're good riders, and they've seen this series as an opportunity to go racing competitively with a smaller budget, you know, so, you know, there's going to be 10 guys that are going to be really good, so, but I think it's going to be close, you know, like the racing will be close. I'm just hoping I can start with the boys, like if I can start in the top 5 or 6 it'll be cool. If I'm coming through from 12th or 13th, you know, it'll make it a hard job to come through, but, you know, it's just fun, it's going to be a good day's racing, it's going to be good weather, and sound of 42 strokes going around Canada Heights is going to be pretty epic, I reckon.
Fastest, and let's see if Mike Brass can respond to that one.
Neville Bradshaw just out there having fun, having the track, and
Bradshaw, 6-10 down. 9.453, just over half a second down from Mike Brass. At the moment, this two-stroke class very much a game between Mike Brass and Neville Bradshaw, top two riders. Off the qualifier, and Bradshaw second. Really program, he's in third place, Lewis Trickett in 2-1-4. The pro rider, he's time on the
Qualifying is pretty cool, you know, the track's in amazing condition, the dirt's unreal. So I just did a couple of slow laps just to see where the track was going and stuff. I didn't want to put too many heater laps in on that bike, to be honest, so just fun, dude, like so much fun, just to like, you get stuff so good in the two-stroke, and this one's like so crisp when you land in and stuff. It's just such a cool feeling, you know, like it's quite hard to ride where it's got a lot of like mid-range, like when you go around like the slow ruts and stuff, like it comes in hard and then there's nothing and it comes in hard. So I'll just have to try adapt to that through the day and try get carry more momentum around the corner so it doesn't come in as hard. Yeah, it's cool, you know, like I said, like for me motocross has gone in a circle. That's how we used to be when we were kids, you know, like hanging out with your mates, talking trash in that waiting zone, and that's exactly like that again, you know, like chilling with guys that you don't really chill with. You know, you get to know people and just everyone's having a good time, you know, the vibe is really cool, and you know, it's a really fun thing so far. I put a lap in and I thought it was a half decent lap, so I thought, you know, I'd be top 10, and then Luke was saying first for most of the session. I was like, oh, fair play, you know, but for sure I had you know, I had quite a few nice lines that if they came together that would have been an even better lap, but unfortunately I never got to put that in. But I never knew where to expect to be, you know, like on a 15-year-old bike, could have been 15 and ended up second, you know, so it shows, you know, if you can do it for one lap, hopefully if she stays together we can, if the start's okay, we can try a challenge for up at the front of the boys at the front.
to say you know I love two-strokes, that's an understatement. Listen, I'm trying not to look for it with rose-tinted glasses, but you know, it's my era. I just think the two-stroke racing offers something so much more, something different. The way you have to ride a two-stroke, keep your momentum. It generates different lines, it opens up the track a bit more. More importantly than anything else, I think with the sport getting more and more expensive, it does make that guy an opportunity to go out and race, you know, because it's not getting any easier to race at the top level. And what that basically means is you can still get a guy with a load of talent that can jump on a two-stroke, do it themselves, and be competitive, you know. I've just been walking around the pits already after practice, and it's so cool. There's like old faces coming out of the woodwork. They're all infused again. I mean, I really hope that it sticks and that the two-stroke, you know, is part of the Maxxis going forward, because there's a buzz about it, and I don't think it's just because it's something new, because that's the point. It's not something new. It's been there before, so people know the value of it. And yeah, I mean, you can probably tell. I mean, I'm a bit of a old fuddy-duddy and enthusiast for it, but I just love watching two-strokes. So yeah, I'm excited. My ultimate thought process would love to see some of the Japanese manufacturers get going with it again and start making two-strokes, because, you know, to have the combination of the two, I think is a big step forward for our sport again. It makes it affordable, and let's hope, fingers crossed, we see more and more new two-stroke models coming out, and I'd be chuffed then. You might even see me back on a bike then. That's saying something.
Yeah, a little bit nervous, but not. I've done so many races around. Yeah, it's just another race really. But obviously, with the two-stroke and stuff, it's a bit different. Yeah, it's just interesting. I guess after the first moto, you'll kind of see where everyone's at. Then you'll know a little bit more for the second moto. But just really need to try to focus on getting out the gate. You know, it's quite deep out the gate, so hopefully this dude cuts hard that way and he's in the lead. I can get a nice line around the turn, but that should be fun, eh? I've been more nervous before. I know that. Oh, I'm off. Go that side. You guys are ganging up on me. Pretty intense race. I got a decent start. I must have been about 5th, so I was pretty pumped on that. And then I came through, got behind to 3rd behind Lewis. I felt like I was riding pretty good at the start. Managed to get by Lewis, and then I saw crash in front of me. I was kind of like staying the same. 1 or 2 laps I made up a bit, and then I must have got about 4 laps in and my arms just went completely solid, you know. So from then I had enough of a gap on Trickett to kind of like ride it through, but I could still see Crash. He wasn't like putting heaps on me. It's just frustrating, you know, like when you just, especially on the 2-stroke where they come in so hard and you slide in and stuff, when your arms are pumped, it's a bit sketch. But no, it's a decent race, you know, second place in that. Yeah, I definitely think I got a little bit more in me, so if we can get another start, hopefully top 5 again. I always get better as the day goes on normally, so yeah, I'd like to make a proper race at it for the win if we can, you know. Yeah, you know, like at least we can see where we are now, you know, like 2nd place and an average ride. Hopefully in the next one, make a race for it, you know, because that's what people are here to see on the 2-stroke races, and give us some bins in this next one. As I said, you never know where you're going to be, so qualified 2nd and then 2nd the 1st race. I can see, you know, we're in the ballpark, and then it's just having a good go, you know. Like that's what I've found since I've stopped racing, and I did that race in Ireland last week. I got a 4th, and then I was kind of like, after that I was like really disappointed. I rode really bad, kind of like I did there, and then I said, right, re-evaluate the day and say, right, by the end of the day you choose the rider you want to beat and your position you want to get. And then I did that in Ireland, you know, and that's the buzz that I miss from racing motorbikes. It's like setting yourself like little goals and achieving them. So now we know where we are, just have a proper crack at the next one, eh? Yeah, no, it was quite a good race. I didn't get the best of starts. Managed, I think it was about 5th or 6th. I managed to come through to 2nd. Passed Mark on the first lap, so I kind of knew where he was. And then caught Lewis, and then stayed behind him for a couple of laps just to get like my rhythm and my breath. And then managed to pass him and go away a little bit. And then Mark was on the back of me, and there was a section of step up. I stopped jumping at the back. I went a little bit soft and stopped jumping it just because where the bike got such a hit, I was getting like a kick in the middle where the power came in, and I didn't feel comfortable, so I was losing a bit of time there. Then he was on me, could hear where he was on his bike and stuff, and I was riding quite a cool race, like covering the insides and stuff, and then I just got messed up with the back marker at the bottom and lost my run up the hill, and he just blew past me up the hill. And then I tried to put a charge on the last lap and get him back, but you know, he's been around pretty much as long as I have, and he left no doors open and stuff. But that's pretty sick to be racing on the last lap of you know, like a British Championship event, to be going for the win on the last lap on a 15-year-old bike as well, you know. So really cool day. I didn't know what to expect coming into the day, and to come away with a second and you know, run the lap times that we were running was you know, quite impressive, you know. And the bikes stayed together the whole day, which is a massive plus, you know. Like, there's nothing worse than going home with a blown up engine, so pretty stoked on the day.
That was a good one, especially for the fans. First heat I didn't ride so good. I didn't ride how I know I can. A little bit arm pump and stressing and too much gas and too many mistakes. And second heat I got I think a 5th or 6th in the start, and just I built my race, and I saw Neville all the time, so I knew the pace was good. And yeah, the last few laps I didn't have arm pump, so I could put in a good few laps. I could take some risk, and he had a problem with the back marker, so yeah, it helped me a little bit, but I was giving it my best. And the second heat I'm happy with. The first heat I'm not so happy. I'm also happy we got this one over, because this is not my kind of tracks. In 2 weeks we go to Harkstone, and yeah, Harkstone is my race. It's sand, and I like that track, so I'm looking forward to 2 weeks. Yes, of course, old man can still ride, and I think if he has a better bike like a new KTM or Husky, he will ride better. But yeah, I'm also riding as fast as I can, so we are just on the limit of the 2 strokes, and that was make good racing. Everybody gives it the best, and yeah, as you can see, it's good for the fans, it's good for us. So yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah, no, for sure. The guy's got game. You know, like I've raced him a lot in the past when I was on DB Honda and stuff. We finished in 3rd and 5th at the European Championship at Hawkstone, so I've come across him a lot in my career and some supercrosses and stuff, and you know, he's a solid rider. He knows what he's doing. You know, he chose his moment, and you know, he went for it, you know. So, but yeah, as you say, you know, the guy's he's at the front of that championship, so to be able to run his speed and stuff was pretty cool. But I think for sure at Hawkstone, I think it'll be a different story. I think he's going to be a little bit further ahead of us than that. That's awesome, you know, like just the buzz of it, you know, like racing at the end of the day, and then to have all the people stay and cheering you on. Like when I got into the lead, it was like I was leading like a full-on British Championship motor, you know. The people really got behind it, which is pretty sick. And I just think the no stress, you know, like you just hang out in the pit box, talk to everyone. If you do well, you do well, it's cool, and if you don't, you're going to go home and you're going to go to work on Monday morning. It's not like, I wonder if I'm going to get a deal next year, or I didn't make my bonus money today, or anything like that, you know. It's kind of just ride motorbikes, because that's what we do on weekends, you know.
Taking second overall, riding the DB Racing Honda, number 272, Neville Bradshaw.
There's also part of me that wanted to close my eyes and just make sure my ears were down. Oh, sending all little shivers down my spine, like I wanted to ride again. Of course I won't.
Yeah, I bet it was sick, dude.
So good.
Especially the 250s.